I was 18 years old when my mother collapsed at the hospital where she worked. She had been working a double shift again, 16 hours straight, because we needed money for rent. I got the call while sitting in my high school cafeteria eating a free lunch that the school provided for poor kids. The nurse on the phone told me that my mother had fainted from exhaustion and dehydration. She told me to come to the hospital immediately. I remember standing up from that cafeteria table and feeling like the entire world was spinning. All my friends were looking at me. The cafeteria went quiet. I was holding a plastic tray with a sad sandwich and a small carton of milk, and I realized in that exact moment that my life had to change. My mother was literally dying so that I could eat and have a roof over my head. I could not let her do this anymore. I had to find a way to make money. I had to become successful, and I had to do it fast. My name is David Chen. I am 18 years old. I live in a small apartment in Queens, New York. A one-bedroom apartment where my mother sleeps in the bedroom and I sleep on the couch in the living room. We have lived like this for my entire life. My father left when I was 3 years old. I barely remember what he looks like. My mother is the strongest person I have ever known. She is a nurse at a hospital in Manhattan. Every single morning, she wakes up at 5 o'clock to get ready for work. She works 10-hour shifts, sometimes more. Sometimes she works 2 jobs in the same day. She comes home exhausted, her feet bleeding from standing all day, her back hurting, her eyes red from crying at work because she saw people suffering and dying. But when she sees me, she smiles. She always smiles. We have never had money. Our refrigerator is often empty. My mother skips meals so that I can eat. I did not know this when I was younger, but I figured it out around age 12 when I started paying attention to the things she was not eating. I remember one time I caught her pretending to eat a meal while actually just moving food around on her plate so I would think she had eaten. She was giving me her portion. School was my escape. At school, I could forget about being poor. I could sit in class and learn about the world and dream about becoming someone important. I was a good student, not the smartest, but I worked hard. I got mostly A's and B's. My teachers believed in me. They told me I could go to a good college if I kept working hard. When I was 14 years old, my uncle gave me an old camera. It was a used camera that he didn't want anymore. He told me I could have it because he thought I might like it. That camera changed my life. I started filming everything. I filmed my mother making breakfast in the morning. I filmed the view from our apartment window. I filmed myself talking about my dreams. By the time I was 16, I had created a YouTube channel called Real Life Stories. I was making videos about what it was like to be poor in America. I was making videos about my mother's sacrifice. I was making videos about struggling in high school while wearing the same clothes over and over. I was making videos about eating the same meal for dinner 3 nights in a row because that was all we could afford. At first, nobody watched my videos. I made 50 videos and got maybe 200 total views. My videos were terrible quality, filmed on an old camera in a dark apartment with terrible lighting. The audio was bad, the editing was amateur. But I kept making videos because I loved doing it. I did not care if nobody watched. I was just telling my story. Then something incredible happened. I was 17 years old in my senior year of high school. I made a video titled, "My Mother Collapsed at Work. This is what poverty does to your family." In this video, I talked about the day she fainted. I talked about rushing to the hospital. I talked about seeing her lying on a hospital bed with an IV in her arm. I talked about the doctor telling me that her body was simply giving up because she had pushed it too hard for too many years. I was crying while filming that video. I was angry and sad and terrified. I was terrified that I was going to lose my mother. I was angry that the system had made her work so hard. I was sad that she had suffered so much. I uploaded that video at 2 a.m. in the morning. I did not think anyone would watch it, but by the next morning, my video had 10,000 views. By the end of the day, it had 100,000 views. By the end of the week, it had 1 million views. People were sharing my video everywhere. A famous YouTuber with millions of subscribers shared it on their channel. News websites were writing articles about me. People were commenting and saying that my mother was a hero. People were saying that my story had made them cry. People were saying that they related to my struggle. Within 1 month, I had 300,000 subscribers. Within 2 months, I had 1 million subscribers. I was still in high school. I was still wearing the same clothes. I was still eating cheap food. But suddenly, I was famous. Companies started contacting me. They wanted to pay me to promote their products in my videos. At first, I said no to everything because I didn't want to become one of those fake YouTubers who just cares about money. But then I thought about my mother lying in that hospital bed. I thought about how I could finally give her the life she deserved. I started accepting sponsorships, but only from companies I actually believed in. A company that made affordable health supplements wanted to sponsor me. A company that made affordable laptops wanted to sponsor me. A company that made affordable clothing wanted to sponsor me. I only promoted products that poor people like me could actually afford. By the time I graduated high school, I was making approximately $2,000 a month from YouTube. $2,000 every single month. I still cannot believe it. The first thing I did was give my mother $500 in cash. I remember her face when I gave it to her. She was sitting on the couch after coming home from work. She was exhausted, her feet were hurting, and I handed her $500 that I had made from my videos. She looked at the money in her hands like it wasn't real. She looked at me like I had just given her the world. And then she started crying. She held me and cried and told me that she was so proud of me. She told me that all her hard work had been worth it because she had raised a son who would help people instead of taking advantage of them. I rented a small office space for $200 a month where I could film my videos properly. I bought a better camera. I bought professional lighting. I bought a quality microphone. The videos immediately got better because the quality was better. More people started watching. I hired my best friend Marcus to help me edit videos and manage my social media. I paid him $500 a month because I believed in sharing my success with people who helped me. Marcus had also grown up poor. He dropped out of college because he couldn't afford it. Now he was working with me and making money and learning skills that would help him in life. I started a scholarship fund for poor students in my neighborhood. I wanted to help other kids like me, kids who were smart and talented but didn't have resources. I set aside money from my YouTube income every single month specifically for scholarships. In my first year, I gave out 5 scholarships of $5,000 each. 5 students went to college because of money that I had earned from making videos. One of those scholarship students was a girl named Jasmine. She lived 2 blocks away from me. She had straight A's, but her family was even poorer than mine. Her mother was addicted to drugs and her father was in prison. Jasmine was living with her grandmother, who worked at McDonald's. Jasmine told me that without my scholarship, she would have had to work full-time instead of going to college. Today, Jasmine is studying engineering. She wants to build water purification systems for poor communities. When I see her, she tells me that my videos inspired her to believe that she could be someone important. She tells me that my story saved her life. I did not go to college right away after high school. Instead, I took a gap year and focused on growing my YouTube channel. My mother was worried. She wanted me to be a normal college student, but I promised her that if it didn't work out after 1 year, I would go to college. I asked her to trust me. That year was intense. I made videos every single day. I filmed myself at different locations around New York City. I interviewed people about their struggles with poverty. I made videos about how to get out of poverty. I made videos about education and opportunity and fighting against the system that keeps poor people poor. My channel grew to 500,000 subscribers. My monthly income grew to $5,000, then $10,000, then $15,000. But the most important thing was not the money. The most important thing was the messages I received every single day from people all over the world telling me that my videos had changed their lives. A girl in India told me that my video about believing in yourself made her believe that she could escape poverty too. A boy in Mexico told me that my video about education inspired him to stay in school instead of dropping out to work. A woman in Africa told me that my video about respecting your parents made her treat her own mother with more love. These messages meant more to me than any amount of money ever could. I realized that I had been given an incredible gift, a platform where I could inspire millions of people to believe in themselves and to fight for better lives. I finally went to college, but I chose a community college near my home so I could continue making videos. My mother moved out of the 1-bedroom apartment. We rented a 2-bedroom apartment where I finally have my own room. She can sleep properly. She can rest. For the first time in her life, she is not exhausted all the time. Today, I'm 18 years old and still in college. My YouTube channel has 1.5 million subscribers. I'm making approximately $2,000 a month from YouTube, enough to support my mother, to give scholarships to poor students, and to live a comfortable life. But the real reward is not the money. The real reward is knowing that I have helped my mother. The real reward is knowing that 5 students went to college because of my scholarship fund. The real reward is knowing that millions of people around the world believe in themselves because they watched my videos.